This Detroit Pistons rebuild is not as doom and gloom as I was making it out to be. And honestly, I'm getting more and more excited towards this offseason than I should be. And like my boy said in the comments section down below, the offseason's all we got to look forward to. So you should be excited. And he's totally right. And the other day I made my video and I came out and said I'm definitely giving Cade Cunningham the max contract extension because this is why it's not so doom and gloom. You have $60 million in cap space. You have a star player that you just need to learn how to build around. And then you have some draft picks that you could, if you wanted to, package up and go get a star piece if you needed to. And that's exactly how I would rebuild this roster around Cade Cunningham. Like I said, I'm a firm believer in Cade Cunningham. I think that the people that say he's not worth the max contract extension haven't watched enough Pistons basketball, and that's totally cool. The Pistons haven't given you much to watch, but the only reason for tuning into Detroit Pistons basketball games the last couple of years was because of Cade Cunningham. The guy can take over basketball games, and when he's not getting blitzed every play, when he's not getting double teamed and triple teamed, if you gave him a star piece, this team can go from the worst record in the league, the worst team in the league, to playing for the play-in tournament. And I know that's weak to say, and that's something you shouldn't be striving for, but who are we? The last 10 and a half years for the decade and a half for the Detroit Pistons has been brutal. So if we're playing for the play-in tournament, baby, that's going to be so exciting. But hopefully they're going to be competing for the 6th seed, and that's what's going to happen when you build a team around your star piece that you already have. Get Cade another star player, someone that can come in, that can average 20 to 25 a night, so that the teams have other pieces on offensive side of the ball that they can key in on, and they're not just keying in on Cade Cunningham. And that's been the Pistons' problem for the last 10, 15 years drafting. They've been drafting players that cannot score. They're a liability on the offensive side of the ball, and that's what Troy Weaver's problem was. Every time Killian Hayes was driving down the floor, he was prone to turn the ball over, and he'd get lucky if he scored. That's how I felt about Killian Hayes. He was drafting offensive liabilities, and that's not the way the NBA is today. It's all about scoring, so you need to add scoring around Cade Cunningham. So if you go get someone like Brandon Ingram, you go get someone like Zach LaVine, Trae Young, Devontae Murray, someone that can come in, move off the ball, so where Cade's bringing the ball down, where he's in pick and roll, he's driving to the basket, he can kick it out, and that person can actually hit a three instead of bricking it, and then the other team's on a fast break down the other hand. That's what's been killing the Pistons for years upon years. Not being able to shoot, and it creates long rebounds, and the other team's pushing the pace because this Detroit Pistons team cannot score. That's where Trajan Langdon and this new regime that's coming in has to just draft purely based off scoring, because that's the way the NBA is, and that's where the Pistons have struggled for the last, I don't know how many years. 10 decade and a half, drafting players that are a liability on offense because they have defensive promise. It's all about scoring today. The defensive end can take care of itself. So with that 5th pick, if the Detroit Pistons are staying flat, or if they're staying there at the 5th pick, they're not trading it. It's Dalton Connect if he's there. It's Reed Shepard if he's there. It's Rob Dillingham if he's there. It's Cody Williams if he's there. Players that can just go get a bucket, and they don't need to have the ball in their hands. They can move off the ball. They can come off screens. They know how to cut. That's what Cade Cunningham needs. A lot of these players on our team right now, Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, they can't shoot, and that's such a liability on the offensive end, because then they can just key in on Cade Cunningham. And if you decide to trade the 5th pick, like I said, I'm looking for a Brandon Ingram, a Zach LaVine, Trae Young, Devontae Murray, someone like that. And then in free agency, if you add one of those players, then you got Cade Cunningham and the other guy with the big money on the books. Then you can add a veteran piece like Malik Monk, where you're not overpaying, or you can add a Kelly Oubre, or you can add someone that's also a serviceable scorer for Cade Cunningham. And then, honestly, if that happens to where you don't trade anybody, you add these vets, then these guys are moving to the bench. Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, and then that's a serviceable bench for this team, instead of putting up a bunch of team players that should be in the G League coming off our bench, and then we're wondering why we're getting blown out every game. This Pistons team is not as far off as I was making it out to be. It's not as doom and gloom as I was making it out to be. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please keep helping this channel grow. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's see what happens with this Detroit Pistons offseason. I'm super excited about it. I hope you guys are too. Peace.